At EQUISIT, our passion is empowering riders, busting myths of the horse world, destroying limitations of horses and their people. If you want to do more, be more, have more, then come along with us for the ride.
Hey Tony, can you tell us a little bit about your plan for today?
Sure I can. My plan today is checking courageous, checking compliant. I'm just checking that he's behind me right now, and checking then that he's calm when I ask him to turn or move the hindquarter, the front end, go forwards or backwards. And then of course the big one is the attentive, because he gets very distracted very easily. So he gets distracted by the externals, and then he gets also sidetracked with his rope and clip in his mouth. So getting the attentive is probably a never-ending job for the next year or two. We'll see how we go.
And what's your plan right now with the clip? So he's often biting the rope or the clip.
Yeah.
How much do you allow him?
Right now I just don't worry about it. It's if you start banging on him for all this stuff, then you're just never ending. So if he's biting the rope or he's biting the clip or he's biting the stick, this is much better than biting me. So I'm happy about this. And if I'm in close contact with him, then he starts to bite the stick, then I'll probably say to him, hey, better you don't do this now and then. But it's not a consistent thing. It's a process to build up over time where we get him to not bite. Because I think there's two things. One is that or three maybe, he's young, he's a stallion, and his teeth are probably wanting a bit of extra effort put into them. So the biting thing will improve over time. But it's getting really nice right here. We can at least, when we're not even connected with the rope, we can say to him, hey, stop and don't come in, because he didn't know a lot about personal space. He was pretty happy to be pushing onto the human pretty well. See, now he's distracted onto the mares, but he still says, oh, I'll just come in and see you. And I say, please stay back. And it's really nice now, a nice feeling that we can get him off in this way. Good. So things are improving, that is for sure. So we start again, just do the same thing, repeat again, friendly with the string. So he's thinking he should go with this energy. I want him not to go. And yes, I put a wrap around my hand with this rope, but I can, because of some practice of the technique, I can, if I have to, just allow my fingers to open and the loop will come off. But it just gives me enough feel right now that I can hold him a little bit. If he reared up or pulled away, my hand would just release and the rope would go out where it needs to. But there's a way to do this in a safe way. So the rope that goes to the horse, it needs to be wrapped in front of the other one. So the one going to the horse in what I call in front, so it's towards the tips of the fingers, so it's here, and the rope that goes out to the floor or to the ground is at the back near my thumb, and this is so that it can come off. If I wrap it the other way, it's not good, like this, because now it gets caught. Don't do it while he's pulling. So techniques are really important as well. Don't go. So techniques of how to use the string with either hand, either arm. Here I can say to him, hey, don't keep going to my right. And then I can go left and right again. Left and right. He's not pulling back on the halter this time, but he's a little bit apprehensive of the stick coming near and over his head. So we need to do a little more of this, a little longer, with the low energy. Doesn't have to be hard or fast or noisy. This is good. He took a step forward and stopped. So I give him the break. But now he walks off, a little bit sidetracked. We get him back. And I try to get him back in a polite way if possible. That is, low energy. And if I need to, I go up the energy if needed. But if he can do it at a light energy like here, I can come up with my body and do as light as possible, will be fantastic. All of this starts to add in the eventually into sensitive up higher in the traits. But right now it's about compliant, because compliant just means follow my energy, respond to my request in the direction that I've asked, not about any quality or quantity of the movement. It's just move, and it doesn't matter how much energy it takes. It's compliant if he goes in the direction I've asked. Now this is not the direction I asked, because I just wanted backwards. So this is pushy right now. So I'm going to say to him just a little touch with the string, hey, don't do this. And then I start again. Over and over. He gets distracted. So I can increase the noise a little bit if he gets distracted. And just say, hey, come, yeah, good, come back to me. Yep, pretty nice. Okay, so I'll change it up a little bit now. We'll go for backwards from in front. First, with the stick on the rope, friendly all the way up here. Make sure that he's okay with the stick moving, if he's even interested. Then come to attention, see if we can get any, not a lot, but now I go to movement energy. A little push from my energy direction into him, because I want him to go backwards. First phase is here in the air, second phase basically the string touching the rope, so it just makes a slight movement in the rope. Third phase is move the clip, so I touch with the aha. But now he's lost attention again. So attentive is a real constant, consistent need. And he's like a child. Has to play with everything, bite everything. And his attention span is like maybe half of a second. So sometimes we're doing pretty good. So we start again, friendly, rub, So I don't want him to go back on the friendly, so I just keep rubbing with a relaxed body energy. Good, and then attention, and then move it. Can even put one foot forward a little bit if I need to, so I can control him or control me when he pulls a bit. Tap with the string for phase 2, and he goes back. So it's a little bit sidetracked on the backwards, but it was still backwards, so I take it all. Start again, don't leave it too long that he gets bored, starts walking forward, and if he walks forward I can even make a bit more friendly energy that he goes, oh, maybe I should have stayed. Attention and move it, lean a little bit towards him. Phase 2 already, phase 3 because he's got distracted again, and I probably need a phase 4, and I ask for a couple more steps, but not to the side. That's better. So mostly we would look for 1 or 2 steps, but then sometimes it's good to ask for a bit more, because it's really a way of finding out where is the edge, where is he up to, what does he know, what can he do, what can he handle, when does he lose the calmness. And so sometimes it's good to ask for a few more, but not every time, because if you ask every time he can be so tough that if you're up at phase 4 asking for 10 steps, he just eventually says no and just won't move. So we've got to really build it up step by step, slowly, step by step, every now and then just test a little bit more and see how it goes. We give him a little break because he's mooded now. Okay, so now we'll start with a bit different technique for backwards, and I'll walk in towards him and I'll bounce my stick up and down just about his chest height to the ground, chest height to ground. And he's already thinking about backwards. So I start here relaxed, friendly, and then I come up to attention. Then I start a little bit of movement energy in my body, and I tap the stick up and down and walk in slowly. So I can walk my fingers up the rope, and I stretch my arm out like this so that I can be as long a distance as I can be from him, because this front legs are long and they can strike, especially if he goes up in the air. So I start again, attention, move it, start to walk, start to bounce the stick, and if his nose is in the road, it's in the road, I can't help it. And if I have to touch, I have to touch, but he's going back really nicely. Yeah. Might start a little bit further out if possible, so I get a bit more view. So I walk my fingers up the rope. This is part of the technique, so that the rope doesn't just get long and go on the ground and be in the road of my feet and movement. If I want a bit more, I can touch a bit more and say, come on, get back. Thank you. Now he's interested in the rope. So then I would go from there and just ask a step back, and then ask him to turn the front end and go out into a walk beside me. Good. And I'd like to keep the stick on him and not have him push on me, would be the plan. So I really start to be aware of how much he's moving in or moving out from me. So I want him to stay this distance from me, but he's pushed in again, so I say, hey, don't do this. Stay out there. So I go up the phase in the +1s, and it depends a little bit. The phase depends on how much he's pushed, how hard he's pushed on me. Because sometimes they can just drift in quite slowly, like here was quite polite, so I didn't go as hard. But if he really puts some effort into it and pushes on me, then I really go up the phase more and say, hey, don't do this, just like a horse would do. This is nice. So now I turn my body energy direction to his hindquarter and say to the front end, don't come through yet. I want you to go a little bit more. A little bit more. And I point my toes to his hind feet. Then when I'm ready, I bring the stick, change hands with the stick, and ask the front end to go across. And put the stick back up and see if he can stay a distance. And it tends to be easier on the offside. They tend to keep their distance a little better on the offside. And I think that it's because they're not so used to having people on the offside when they're bred and trained a little bit in the younger days. So that's why we like to do everything on both sides so they can really get started with the understanding. So again, I point my body energy to the hindquarter, but I don't want him to bring the front end through so quick. So I stop it until I'm ready. Then I say, okay, let's go, but don't push on me. Same thing, don't push on me with your big nose. Then I politely wait for it to happen and ask him to go around and around a bit more. So this is the beauty now of having the stick, because me being vertically challenged, it's much easier to get to his height with the stick. Then say, okay, let's catch up now. Pretty nice. Now I can turn it into move the hindquarter and move the front end. Move the hindquarter and don't go forward, because we know this already. And then I can say move the front end. And don't worry that he goes backwards and thinks about rearing. Just hang in there, stay calm, stay focused. Good. There it is. Stay focused. Stay aware of what he's doing. Move the hindquarter around and move the front end through. Good boy. He feels better now that I said that. This is good, and we try it on this side. Direct the hindquarter to go, and then the front end to go, not forward. And he starts to kind of flop around and go, huh? What happened there? How did that happen? So this again is really important, that I stay calm, I stay focused, I stay fully aware of what he's doing, because he could rear up here at any time, he could strike, he could kick or whatever. And I really need to be aware that I have enough space and I can be safe, but I also need to give him the timing that he needs to get in here and turn. Now I just do a shorter one here and just ask him to come through with the front end. Don't do that. So I had to be aware there. He thought about having a bit of a bite because he said stop touching me, and I was able to get in there in time. Hindquarter, front end, and some sideways. So slow the forward down, ask the front end to go across. And don't be in a rush. Don't be so particular that it's got to be a perfect sideways. It doesn't matter as long as it's compliant. And if he goes in the direction I don't want, I just fix it up. Good job. Then we ask the hindquarter to go. Front end's here and back up with as little phase as possible. Good, a little bit more. Super job. And give him a little rest.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, hit the subscribe button and also the like button on this video. This will give me more chance to know what you like. And if you're really feeling good, put down a comment for me. Let me know what's good, what's not good, and what you'd like to see. I'd love to read it, and then I can do more, better videos for you.